Nothing in life is guaranteed. None of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully, we're all still here, and hopefully, whatever we're doing a year from now is better than what we're doing today. Life has a funny way of surprising us. It has ups and downs, plans change, people change, circumstances change, but one thing I always liked is rolling the dice and see what's going to happen. I'm constantly looking for new opportunities because I genuinely believe you're more likely to have good things happen when you keep chasing them. Personally, I have this YouTube channel, a few other projects in completely different areas, a small business, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm still searching for the right path, and I'm still trying to find meaning in what I'm building. And maybe you know that feeling. I guess the most important thing is having faith in what you're doing, even when you don't have all the answers yet. So, if you are in the middle of figuring out your life or you're just starting a new project, stick around. I think you're going to enjoy this one. Hey, my name is Victor Canchola. Welcome back to my channel and to another one of these introspective videos where I'm probably going to end up talking out live and maybe exposing a little too much about how my brain works. I want to start by saying something. I never planned on making YouTube videos. I definitely never imagined myself sitting here talking to a microphone about ideas like this. Honestly, I never really wanted to stand out or become the kind of person who gives speeches on the internet. When I was younger, I had goals, but they looked nothing like the ones I have today. Somehow, I ended up here naturally. I always loved learning. I'm the kind of person who's constantly looking for new ideas, different perspectives, and things I didn't know yesterday. And at some point, I realized I didn't want to keep all that to myself. Knowledge is a lot like water. If it doesn't flow, it starts to stagnate. And I'm not saying I have all the knowledge of the world, but over the years, I've learned from people I consider mentors, teachers, and friends. They've shaped the way I think, the way I work, and honestly, the person I've become. And because of that, I feel like I had a responsibility to pass some of those lessons on. If something I've learned can improve someone else's perspective, even just a little, then I think it's worth sharing. Now, I want to make something clear. I don't believe I have all the answers, and I'm not here because I think I figured life out. I make these videos because I genuinely enjoy teaching and sharing ideas that have helped me. One thing I've discovered is that the more you teach, the more you learn. Every time I research a topic for one of these videos, I end up discovering even more questions. Different perspectives, new layers, ideas I hadn't considered before, and that's one of my favorite parts of the process. The more I learn, the more aware I become of how much I still don't know. There is always another book to read, another perspective to understand, another lesson waiting somewhere, and that's why I think humility is so important. If you stay humble, you stay teachable. You keep expanding your mind. You learn new skills, you understand more subjects, you become a more interesting person, not because you know everything, but because you're always willing to learn. You can't go through life believing you've already figured it all out, thinking nobody has anything left to teach you. Sometimes another person doesn't even know more than you. They just see the same idea from a different angle, and that alone can completely change the way you think. That's what I think it's so important to keep an open mind, to keep widening your perspective, because the moment you believe you've learned everything, you stop growing. Getting back to this YouTube project, do I think I'll ever become famous on this platform? Honestly, I have no idea. And to be honest, that's never really been the goal. It's not the reason I make these videos. If it ever happens, I hope it's simply the result of doing good work and sharing ideas that were worth sharing. The real goal has always been much simpler. If something I say helps even one person, then I think it's worth it. More than being recognized, I rather be useful. Because I'm not chasing fame, I'm trying to make a difference, even if it's a small one. And will that work? I honestly don't know. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I like to play the game of possibilities, because if you never try anything, nothing is going to happen. Life wasn't meant to be watched from the sidelines. You have to step onto the field eventually. Now I also understand that life has seasons. Not every day is going to be life changing. Not every day is going to feel exciting. Some days feel like filler episodes in a TV show, and that's okay. But I also believe that at some point everyone feels a pull towards something bigger, something that gives their life a deeper sense of purpose. I think there's a part of all of us that wants to leave something behind, to matter, to become more than we were yesterday. And if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, if you've never felt that pull, I honestly think you will someday. I say that because I've experienced it myself more than once. Sometimes all it takes is a single spark to start a fire inside you. And if that's where you are right now, if you feel that desire to build something meaningful, then congratulations. It means you are alive. And it means you found a reason to move forward. At this point in the video, I want to do two things. First, I want this to be a reminder for my future self to remember where I started. And second, I want it to be a message for you, especially if you're starting something new. If you are taking control of your life, making important decisions, trying to find your own path, maybe nobody has told you this, but it takes real courage to take that first step. Just remember what I said earlier. A single spark can start a huge fire, but a fire doesn't keep burning on its own. You have to keep feeding it, that excitement, that sense of purpose, that motivation. You have to protect it every single day because it's incredibly easy to get distracted and slowly push your dreams into the background. Don't let that happen, my bro. One day you look back and realize how far you have come. You will remember everything you had to overcome, everything you sacrificed, everything you learned, and without even realizing it, you'll become an example for someone else. I actually tell myself that all the time because I think it's important to see where you're trying to go. You have to be able to picture the future you're working toward. I've talked before about the importance of having clear goals, and I still believe that. You need a direction, a North Star. Otherwise, how are you supposed to build a path toward it? Even the wise men followed the star of Bethlehem because they knew where they were trying to go. In the same way, you have to be able to imagine what your life could like if your goals became reality. Imagine how it would feel to see your project succeed, to watch your work finally pay off. Everything has to exist in your mind before it can exist in the real world. Think about an architect. Before a building is ever constructed, it exists as an idea. Then it becomes a sketch, then a digital model, then a scale model, and finally a real building that people can walk through. Some of the most incredible buildings in the world started as nothing more than someone's imagination. Let me tell you something, your goals work the same way. You have to see them before you can build them. You have to believe they are possible before you can make them real. And if you still don't know exactly what your future looks like, I understand. I've been there too. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted. But keep searching because if you don't choose a direction for your life, life will choose one for you. I've been in that place before. That place where you have no idea what your future is supposed to look like. And if that's where you are right now, I actually think it's one of the best places you can be. Because it means your story is still unwritten. You can still choose where you're going. There are no limits to what you can dream about. Life is an open world game. And if you believe, then you also believe God gave us free will. So dream big. It costs you just as much to dream small as it does to dream big. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received when I couldn't figure out what I wanted was this: write down 100 things you want to do before you leave this world. It sounds simple, but it completely changed the way I thought. It forced me to use my imagination. It made me realize how many experiences I actually wanted to have. And you will probably notice the same thing. The longer you keep writing, the bigger your dreams become. Once you know what you want, the next step is building a plan to get there. Then you put that plan into action. You find mentors who have already accomplished what you're trying to do. You learn from people who have walked that path before you, and you build relationships with people who make you better. Because achieving something on your own isn't impossible, it's just a lot harder. Doing it with the right people makes all the difference. And then comes one of the most important steps: making mistakes. Failure isn't optional. You're going to mess things up. You're going to make bad decisions. Some plans won't work. You will probably have to throw away your first plan, maybe even your second. But you keep going. You adjust. You learn. And eventually, you achieve your goals one by one. Perseverance matters. Now, hearing all of this in a video might make it sound simple. You might be thinking, yeah, easier said than done. Believe me, I know how all of this sounds. And you'd be right. I never said it would be easy. But it's not easy to stop watching life from the sidelines and actually step onto the field. It's not easy to design a plan for your future. And it's definitely not easy to keep going after your first attempts fail. But you know what's easy? Doing nothing. Watching life pass by while waiting for the perfect moment. You might also be thinking, I'm just not an ambitious person. I get it. I used to think that about myself too. Coming up with goals wasn't easy for me either. But let me ask you something. Have you actually tried? Or have you just convinced yourself that it can be done before giving it an honest chance? If you haven't done the work yet, you can really say it's impossible. And if you genuinely can't think of a single goal, here's the challenge. Go somewhere quiet, put your headphones on, sit with your own thoughts, and don't leave until you've written down one thing. Just one. One goal that genuinely excites you. It doesn't have to change the world. It doesn't have to sound impressive. It doesn't have to be deep or poetic. It just has to matter to you. No matter how weird, how unrealistic, or how ridiculous it might sound to someone else. It's your goal, not theirs. If you want to change the world, that's great. If you want to make a lot of money and travel the world, that's great too, my bro. If your motivation is becoming so successful that your ex regrets leaving you, well, that's your business. Just make sure you're aiming at something. And once you have that goal, I'd like to invite you to join me on this journey because you're not doing this alone. There are a lot of us here trying to build a life we are proud of, trying to create a future we actually want to live in. I'm just getting started too. These are some of my very first videos in this format, and I'm making them with the hope and the faith that they will become something meaningful. I truly believe that somewhere in the world, someone is going to watch one of these videos and find the motivation they needed to keep going. If that happens, then this will all have been worth it. Maybe changing one person's perspective is enough. And even though these are my first steps, the person who eventually win a marathon also started with the first step. That's why 3 months from now, if I feel overwhelmed and don't feel like making another video, I'm coming back to watch this one to remind myself why I started. If one day I run into a problem and feel like quitting, maybe there's someone out there who's waiting for one more message. Maybe that extra bit of effort is exactly what someone else needs. And if one day I'm celebrating some big success, I'll come back to this video then too, to remind myself to stay humble, to keep learning, and to keep an open mind. Because I know the version of me sitting here today wouldn't be proud if success ever made me arrogant. By saying these things out loud, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm choosing to become the kind of person whose actions match his words. That's why I'm willing to be vulnerable in front of people I've never met. That level of commitment just doesn't scare me. What scares me is never trying at all, leaving with the question, what would have happened if I just uploaded that video? So I really hope that if you're watching this, something I said today stayed with you. The truth is, these videos help me too. Every single one teaches me something. Every single one makes me a little better. And I think the same thing will happen to you if you decide to finally start that project you've been putting off, or chasing that dream you've been thinking about for years. We're walking the same road, one step at a time. We'll see where we are in a few months and where we are in a few years. Time moves faster than we think. The life you're living today was once just a picture in your imagination. Every action has consequences, so take actions that move you closer to the future you want. Focus on what you can do today. Believe in yourself. You're capable of more than you think. Enjoy the process. Learn from every step. Believe in a better future and then go build one. And if you ever need this reminder again, this video will still be here. Watch it as many times as you need. And if you ever want someone to talk to about your journey, send me a message. I'd be happy to cheer you on. So that's all for today. Thank you for spending your time with me. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, you can find me on social media. And if you enjoyed this video, leaving a like, sharing it with someone else, or simply telling me your favorite part in the comments really would mean a lot. If there's another topic you'd like me to talk about, let me know. So take care and see you in the next one. Ciao!